Welcome back to TransGuyReacts. My name is Nick, and I make videos about women's basketball, collegiate or professional. And today I'm talking about Sunday, June 23rd, WNBA games, and there were four of them. And it was quite annoying because two of them were at the same time. We start out with the WNBA Countdown show with LaChina Robinson, Monica McNutt, and Carolyn Peck. They are they got a whole hour instead of the usual 30 minutes to cover this Fever versus Sky game on ESPN. Plus, they talked about the league as a whole. I love them. They're hilarious. They got great jokes. I love their chemistry, so really love when they're on the countdown. They interviewed Angel Reese, and Angel's fit was crazy. She was looking like an Amazonian woman, like Xena, the warrior princess. And I love that her boots were an homage to Juneteenth, so that was pretty cool. I love how she interviews. She says all the right things, and she's really relatable, actually. They do cut to Aaliyah Boston. She's got her natural hair color in today. I love it. I do love when she does the colorful extensions, but she looks really good with natural brown hair. Also, there are, like I was saying, there are three games on today at the same time. It was three games at 1 p.m. and then the Fever Sky game at 2 p.m., which was like, are you freaking kidding me? It was ridiculous. I was able to watch the two of the three games on League Pass, but one game, the Sun versus the Storm game, was on like a local channel, and then I had challenge like accessing it through my VPN. But I was able to figure it out that it was on Amazon Prime, and then I just had to change my VPN location, and I was able to access it, so it was fine. But it was hard to watch all of those games at the same time. Very infuriating that they put games on. Why do they do that? This has been going on for several years. It's very frustrating, but it is what it is. On the WNBA countdown, they do interview Caitlin Clark while she's warming up, which I think was mad distracting. She was like out of breath. It was taking her time to like think and answer questions because she's trying to focus. I don't understand. It's the same when like they try to ask questions to coaches when they're in the game. I'm like, what are you guys doing? This is not entertaining. Anyway, they cut to Ryan Rucco and Rebecca Lobo, who are going to be calling the game during the countdown show, and they were talking about the rivalries. And I think it's funny because like the media is making these rivalries from my perspective personally. The players do not care that much. They just want to get to the playoffs. But it gets, it's all about like getting drama, and that gets you views. So, so the media is gonna push it. Then I was, kind of trying to watch the other game. So I did notice that Ryan Howard of Atlanta Dream was still out with a lower leg injury. She had a boot on, so a little cross my fingers that she's going to be okay for the Olympics. But she's out. She was out today for that Dream game against the Liberty. And the Dream played terribly against the Liberty in the first half. I did see Vandersloot. She was back with the Liberty, but she didn't play today. I don't even know why she's even there. I mean, her mom passed away like last week. I don't get why she's even there. I would imagine she needs some time to grieve, but she was there. She wasn't dressed, but she was there. The other game of the Connecticut Sun were dominating the Seattle Storm in that first quarter, but then the Storm surged back and evened it up, and even had the lead at the end of the second quarter. Then there was the Dallas Wings versus the the Washington Mystics. They played each other yesterday, actually, and so the Mystics kicked the Wings' ass. It was a very big lead. This game, the Wings were like a lot more in control in the whole of the first half. It wasn't a huge lead, but they were able to maintain it for the entire first half. So I was like, okay, maybe things are gonna go well for the Wings this game, Then they go back to the WNBA countdown. LaChina Robinson asks Carolyn Peck and Monica McNutt about the rivalry, and Carolyn Peck is like, I don't think there's a rivalry. It's really the Clark fans versus the Angel Reese fans. That's the rivalry. And LaChina was like, no, I think it's a rivalry. And Monica McNutt was like, I'm neutral. And I have to say, I have to agree with Carolyn on this one. It's on a more logical sense. It's not really a rivalry. It's more of the fans against each other. And it's just a lot of playing into the media hype. And it's for ratings or whatever. But I don't think the players are pressed. I don't think they really care that much. I personally have been a fan of the W for a long time, 20 plus years. I don't care about rivalries. I don't think they're that interesting. I don't really care for drama. I just like to see really great athleticism in basketball. So whatever, y'all can have the drama. And the drama for me is so toxic, especially on the Clark end, that I don't usually even watch Fever games because I don't want to participate in the white nationalist mascot. I don't want to prop her up. So her fans have made it pretty unenjoyable to watch her. So it's unfortunate. Anyway, the start of the Fever in the Sky game, there were a lot of Fever fans in the area because Chicago is closer to Indiana than it is to, or it's closer to Iowa than it is Indiana. So there's a lot of Iowa fans in the crowd, which I found very disrespectful, but it is what it is. I actually didn't even pay attention to the first half because the other three games still had their second half to play, and I wanted to watch that. So going back to the Storm game, this weekend for the Storm, they had a whole bunch of former coaches and players. It was like former coach Brian Agler, Dan Hughes, former players Tamika Johnson, Kalina Mosqueda Lewis, Crystal Langhorne, Tina Thompson, Sue Bird. Tons of other alums were in attendance because it was the 25th year anniversary of the team. So that was cool. Love to see the vets of the past. Also, the Storm were taken over in the third quarter and getting a pretty nice lead. So it was nice to see that. Then I was switching back to the Dream game. I noticed that Jordan Canada was back from injury and playing on the Dream, but it just was not enough. They were still losing really badly to the Liberty in the third quarter. Tanisha Wright, the coach for the Dream, finally put Letitia Amihir in the game because they were losing so badly, and she had these two monster blocks, and it was like, damn, thank you, finally put her in the game. She's very valuable, but they only put her in when they're losing. Same for the Liberty. The Liberty, since they were winning so well, they put in the rookie Marquisha Davis, and she was balling. She had a really great game, actually. Mystics were able to take, going back to the Mystics game against the Wings, the Mystics were able to get the lead back from the Wings in the third quarter. Emily Inksler was playing very well, but she was in a little bit of foul trouble, but she was playing well. Then I go to the Sun versus Storm game. DeWanna Bonner may have gotten injured at the end of the fourth quarter for an off-ball thing that she got tangled up with Jordan Horston. Hopefully she's okay. Storm were able to maintain a dominant lead and ended up winning that game. So it was pretty entertaining. Of all the three games, I would say the Sun versus the Storm game was the most entertaining. Then you go back to the Mystics Mystics game versus the Wings, and unfortunately Carly Samuelson got her finger injured at the very end of the game. She had to leave the court in immense pain. It was the same finger that she injured a few games ago. She had this finger cover on, and it flew off, and as soon as it flew off, she grabbed her finger in pain and left the court. So really unfortunate, because considering the game was practically over, the Mystics will go on to win that, and it was 2 wins back-to-back against the Wings, so a little unfortunate for Dallas. And then, of course, Liberty wins with a decisive win over the Dream. It was not close at all. It's unfortunate. Then I go back to the Fever versus the Sky game. It's well into the third quarter at this point. And I can see at the end of this game, it was pretty much Angel Reese making all of the gritty plays at the rim. Other players for the Sky were struggling to get the ball to fall. There was a point where Reese and Alyssa Smith were going at it verbally, and I think both of them got a technical foul. It was really crazy. Then the last 2 minutes of the game was super intense, and it was a tied game. The Sky were missing their free throws, which kept the door open for the Fever. It was very frustrating. Boston ends up hitting this clutch 3 with 19 seconds left. Marina Mabry gets fouled and then misses her first shot and then misses the second on purpose. There's a loose ball. The Fever gets it, but they end up missing the layup. Crazy. Then Fever put the ball in and misses the shot, which is wild. The Fever foul with .05 seconds on the clock. Cardoso goes to the line, misses the first shot, then purposely misses the second. It's .02 on the clock. Fever call a reset fucking timeout so they can advance the ball, but that's not enough time to do anything. The Fever lob it in and miss, and then that's the end of the game, and the Sky win by 1 point. That was freaking crazy. And then the end of the game, the Sky DJ ends up playing the Kendrick Lamar song, They Not Like Us, which was very hilarious. And then Angel Reese goes over to Cheryl Swoops, who's in the building, and gives her a really long hug, and they were embracing for a while, and that was really endearing because Cheryl Swoops is the GOAT. And then Holly Rowe interviews Reese at the end of the game, and it was really nice. It was sweet, very, very sweet. Now, I don't like to make these videos long. I'm already at 9 minutes, so let me get into the box scores for these games. So for the New York Liberty versus Atlanta Dream, it was 96-75. Crazy. Tina Charles had 19 points, 7 rebounds. Cheyenne Parker-Tyus had 10 points. And then everyone else had 9 or less points. It just wasn't enough. New York Liberty, Brianna Stewart had 17 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals. John Cole Jones had 15 points, 11 rebounds, double-double. Sabrina Ionescu had 26 points, 11 assists. It's just, and even Marquisha Davis, the rook, she had 9 points. She was in the game for 13 minutes. She had 9 points. is wild. All right, for the Dallas Wings versus Mystics, it was 92-84. The Mystics won that. A little bit less of a gap than they had the other game, so I give them respect for that. J.C. Sheldon had 11 points, 6 rebounds. Natasha Howard had 26 points, 8 rebounds. Enrique Agumbawale had 23.7 rebounds, and that was not enough. Oh, Monique Billings had 8 points, 14 rebounds. But then the Mystics, they had Carly Samuelson had 13 points. Maisha Hines-Allen had 12 points. Stephanie Dolson had 18 points, 8 rebounds. Ariel Atkins had 12 points, 7 assists. Emily Inkster had 13 points. It was just a lot of more firepower from the Mystics, and that's why they won. The Connecticut Sun versus Seattle Storm game was 61-72. The Storm won that game. Dewana Bonner had a kind of, relatively quiet night, 9 points, 9 rebounds, almost a double-double, but pretty quiet. Alyssa Thomas had 14 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 steals. She had a really great night, but a lot of turnovers. Brianna Jones had 14 points. Taisha Harris had 10 points, but it just was not enough. For the Seattle Storm, Jordan Horston had 10 points, 7 rebounds. Nega Wumake had 13 points, 2 steals. Jordan Horston had 3 steals. Ezzy McElvore had 11 points, 9 rebounds, 2 steals. Jewel Lloyd had 16 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. Skylar Diggins-Smith had 13 points, 8 assists, 2 steals. Crazy, they were stealing the ball like crazy from the Sun. They were not handling the ball well. And then finally, you have this Indiana Fever versus Sky game. It was 88-87, very close game at the end, but the Sky prevailed. For the Indiana Fever, Christy Wallace had 9 points. Nilissa Smith had 12 points, 7 rebounds, but she had 5 personal fouls. Aaliyah Boston had 18 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Kelsey Mitchell had 24 points. Caitlin Clark had 17 points, 13 assists for a double-double, and that was pretty much it on the people making any scores. And for the Chicago Sky, they had less people scoring, but they had higher scoring. So Kennedy Garter had 23 points, 5 assists. Carmilla Cardoso had a double-double, 16 points, 10 rebounds. And Angel Reese had 25 points, 16 rebounds for a double-double. Crazy. That was a career high for her. Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso have been amazing this year for the Sky. And so is Kennedy Carter. It was a really great game. Really, really touch and go, I guess, at the end of what I watched. Highly entertaining. So if you needed to watch any of these games, I would watch the Connecticut Sun versus Storm, and then the Fever versus Sky. Those were actually fun games to watch today. If you like these kind of videos, I appreciate you watching. You can like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I do not have my comment sections on because I don't care what random people on the internet think about me. But if you come here all the time and you watch my breakdowns, I do care about you, and you're awesome. And I will see you in the next one. Later.